right, let's start this test review. Remember, these are the ones that I am going to go over with you, and then you need to try that page just on your own, and that must be turned in complete the day of the test in order for you to be able to make up the test if you want to. So these first 8 I just want to go through because I want you to know what the question on the test is asking you. So the first one says write the area of the rectangle as a product and a sum. And all that means is you need to do the work, and we'll do that later on. But when it's saying it wants the product and the sum, and you have this in your notes, you can always go back and check. The product will be like if I have one side that is x plus 4, that's my length, and then I want to find the area, I multiply it by the width. If the width is 2x minus 3, that would be the area as a product, and we write that as equal to the area as a sum, and that's when you take all of those middle boxes and add them up together. So maybe that is, well, let's see if I can do this in my head. That would be 2x squared, let's say, plus 5x minus 12, and you will also, oops, I said 5x, but I only wrote down 5. You will also be able to do that, but when it says the product and the sum, that's what it's asking for. Number 2 says write an algebraic equation for each figure below to express the relationship area as a product equals area as a sum. That's the same exact question, it's just worded a little bit different. Which of the following statements is true? The reason I put that there is because there may be more than one. There may not be, I didn't actually look at the answers. More than one. I actually think there is. Number 4, based on this Venn diagram, how are the shapes sorted? So obviously it's going to give you a Venn diagram, right? And it's going to look like this, and there's going to be shapes in there. What are the labels for the circles? So what is the category for each circle, right? What if this category is teachers at DCIS, okay, and this category over here, female teachers, okay, then Miss Binkley would be in the middle right there, right? But the categories would be teachers at DCIS and female teachers. Number 5, calculate the value of x. That means you have to solve an equation for x. Number 6, calculate the area of angle ABC. So it's going to be kind of, remember sometimes if you had, I'm just making things up here, if you had 3x minus 4 equals 15, okay, and you solved that for x, and you get x equals, let's see, minus 4, 11 divided by 3, 3 and 2/3, okay, and then you have to put that back in. Let's say that the angle was actually represented by this equation. To calculate the value of the angle, I would have to put in 3 and 2/3 where the x is, right? So that's the difference we talked about in class, either calculating the value for x or calculating the value for the actual angle. Lines M and M are parallel. They are intersected by the transversals P and Q. Okay, so we have parallel lines. They're going to have parallel lines, and then maybe there's 2 transversals that are not parallel. Use mathematics to justify or explain your answer. So that's, you could get the correct answer, but unless you like solve an equation or prove with a table or a graph, you have to be able to justify it. You won't get all of the points. So that's just some information I wanted to throw at you before we start doing actual questions. So let's start. So each video can only be 15 minutes because I have the free version of this video recorder. But let's go ahead and start. I'm at 4 minutes right now. Write the area of the rectangle, right, as a product and as a sum. So to answer it as a sum, we're just going to add up the end sides, right? So let's see, we'll keep medium. Let's turn this yellow. And we start with the x-sides. We have 2x squared, right? Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 x's, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8. And then we also, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. We have 8 little 1 by 1s, right? So when we write that out as a sum, we have 2x squared plus 8x, and then plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep, 8 ones, right? So that is the area as a sum, and I literally just, these are each one, added those all up, get it, added it, summed them all up to get that. Now, as a product, that's going to be a little bit different. Let's try, why isn't there just a thin one? The area as a product means, like any rectangle, we're going to take the width and we're going to multiply it times the length. So the problem here is we actually need to know what is the width and what is the length. So from here to here, that's x, right? And then from here to here, that's another x. So that together is 2x. And then we're going to add on 1, 2, 3, 4 more blocks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length, the long side, is 2x plus 4. And the short side is from here to here is 1, from there, there's 1. So that's 2. And even though, and it's got to be the same on both sides, right? So look at the other side. Even though the area of that skinny block is x, this one side is just 1, right? So that's the same. Okay, it's x this way, but it's only 1 this way. But then from here to here, that's going to be x. It's 1 this way, but it's x this way. So one side is 2x plus 4, and the other side is just 2 plus x. So what that looks like, we write the equals, because obviously the area is equal to itself, and we write it as a product. So we write 2x plus 4, that's one side, times 2 plus x. Okay, so I would suggest if you're doing this right now, either write some little notes to yourself, and remember you're doing this in your notebook, write some notes to yourself about how you did this and what it meant, so that you can answer the ones that you're doing on your own when it's time to do that, okay? What is the area of the rectangle below? Show your work. Now, somebody asked me, and I didn't even think about this, is the test asking you to do it as a product or as a sum? And I'm not sure that it's making the case either way. So I will do it both ways, and I think either one is acceptable, but just I will tell you before we take the test. So we have this width here is 3x plus 4 at the top, right? If I highlighted that, it would look like 3x plus 4, right? And this side is a little bit tricky. We're going to need to rewrite that because it's confusing. It is, this whole side is x minus 6, but since I made squares, I'm going to make it my rectangle x, and then this little rectangle minus 6, so that it's easier for me to do the multiplication, right? So we're multiplying these out. So each little rectangle needs to be multiplied. And remember, if this is 3x here, it's also 3x at the bottom. If this is 4 here, it's also 4 here. If that's negative 6, this is negative 6. And if this is x, this is x. So we just multiply each side. So 3x times x is 3. Let's see if I can fit this better. 3x squared. And then 4 times x is just 4x. Negative 6 times 4 is negative 24. And negative 6 times 3x, that was terrible. Negative 6 times 3x is negative 18x. Now we just need to add those like terms together. So as a sum, this was a little more work than just as a product, plus, not going to put plus because I have negative 18x and I'm adding 4x, so it's only minus 14x, and then minus 24. Okay. You can do it both ways as equal to, the easier way was just, right, 3x plus 4 times x minus 6. So you have it as a sum, and so this is a sum even though the only signs we have are negative, but remember this could be plus negative 14 and this could be plus negative 24, and as a product. All right, moving right along. This is just asking you to do the same exact thing. So let's do that. So 2x times, so as a product, let's just do that first. 2x minus 3 times x plus 1 is equal to, And then this little rectangle is 2x squared because each of those terms has an x, so there's two x's in our answer, x to the power of 2. And then this rectangle is negative 3x. And then this rectangle is negative 3 on this side and positive 1 here, so it's just negative 3. And this is 1 times 2x, which is just 2x. So if we add our like terms, we only have 1x. It's 2x squared, but we only have one term that has x squared. And then we add our x's together, so it's going to be negative 1x, right? Minus 3. Okay, and this side is a little bit trickier because it gives us the insides and we have to find the outsides. So this, obviously to get x squared, each of these sides must be x. X times x is x squared. And now that I know that side is x, x times what gives me 3x, that's just going to be 3. And now that I know that side is 3, I know this side must be 2. Oh, so I've gotten it all. So as a product, it's x plus 2, one side, times, that's x plus 3. There it is as a product. And as a sum, it would be x squared plus 5x. We got to combine those like terms, plus 6. I'm going to stop this video and start the next video.